And let's start today's practice in a seated position, crossing into the legs, sitting down on the mat. Hands are resting either on the knees or in the lap, and closing into the eyes. You're starting to sit up a little bit taller, lifting up into the spine, elongating into the neck, and grounding into the mat with the sit bones. And taking a few deep inhales and exhales here, just getting ready for your practice. Always being mindful of your body can be different every day. So changing the practice to what you need. Just taking a few more inhales and exhales. And really feeling the breath moving in and out through the nose. Moving into a more controlled breath, a more even breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. You can keep the eyes closed, take both hands to the knees and start to round into the spine, almost drawing the shoulders back, tucking into the chin. And then on an inhale, lifting up into the chest, bending into the arms, pulling the chest through the upper arms, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, moving all the way back, extending into the arms, rounding into the spine, almost pulling all the way back, tucking into the chin. And then inhale, lifting up into the chest, lifting up into the chin, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding all the way back, round into the spine. Inhale, pulling onto the knees to lift up the chin, look up towards the ceiling, puffing out into the chest, arching the back, and exhale, rounding into the spine. Inhale, coming all the way forward, lifting up into the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, and taking one more round, exhale, rounding into the spine, pulling all the way back, tucking into the chin, and inhale, lifting all the way forward, puffing out into the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, and then coming into a neutral spine, gently starting to open up the eyes, bringing a bit of light back in, and then rolling over the feet, coming onto all fours, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, moving into a few cat and cows, or moving into whatever spine movements you may need, just making sure whatever you do one side, you do the other. So either dropping the hips down low, looking up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, rounding into the spine, dropping the chin down, tucking into the tailbone, moving that way for a few breaths. Or you can kind of do circles, dropping the hips down and then rounding as you come around again. Just making sure you do both ways if you are doing the circles. Just playing around with your spine here, nothing too structured. Moving with your breath, making sure you keep your movements with that breath. And coming into a neutral spine. Turning on that lower belly, the neck is long, shoulders are still slightly rounded. And start to tuck into the knees or tuck into the toes, pushing the chest all the way to the thighs. Extending into the legs and coming into your first down dog. Moving it around here, bending into one knee and then the other. Moving into the head. Moving into the neck. Playing around. Maybe coming high up onto the toes and then dropping the heels back down. Maybe bending the knees over to one side, dropping the sit bones down towards the heels and then extending again. And then bending towards the other way. Just twisting it out. And then starting to find some stillness in the down dog. Feeling the same amount of pressure in the hands and the feet. So using the hands to push the chest closer towards the thighs, elongating into the shoulders, dropping the heels down towards the floor, really straightening out that spine. If you find your spine is rounding, then taking a slight bend in the knees, adapting the practice to what you need. And slowly coming forward into a plank, hovering the knees just an inch off the floor, And then start to push the chest all the way to the thighs, extend into the legs, coming back into downward facing dog. Going to inhale, rolling all the way forward into a plank. Exhale, hover the knees, take the chest to the thighs, and then start to extend into the legs, coming back into your downward facing dog. You're going to do a few more of those at your own pace. Maybe coming into more of a spinal wave if you are able to, but that's the basic start of a spinal wave, but you can really start to wave it a little bit more. So playing around here, otherwise keeping it structured, moving forward to that plank, hovering the knees, and then start to push the chest towards the thighs, and then extending the legs into downward facing dog. And eventually all meeting up in downward facing dog, finding a breath, holding it there. And start to tiptoe your feet halfway up towards your hands. So coming into a short down dog. And start to drop the heels back down towards the floor. Extend into the chest. From here, take your right hand, grab hold of the outside of your left ankle. So your left arm is still in front, it's a short down dog. And then start to twist, start to pull that left ankle with your right hand, and then maybe start to look underneath the left armpit, finding a little twist in that shortened down dog, and holding it there for another 3 and 2 and 1. Start to release the twist, taking your right hand back down to the mat. And this time you're going to be moving all the way over to the right. So you're going to grab hold of the outside of your right ankle with your left hand and finding that twist again, pulling your chest underneath that right armpit and holding it there for another 3 and 2 and 1. Releasing the left hand back down towards the floor. And then slowly starting to move the feet up towards the hands, keeping the feet hip distance apart, folding at the top of the mat. So either grabbing hold of opposite elbows or taking the hands down to the floor, finding that forward fold, head drawing down towards the mat, feeling the lengthening in the neck, maybe bending into the knees for now. Maybe swaying it from side to side, just finding your breath. And holding it here for another 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. And exhale 5. Start to bend deeply into the knees. Round into the spine. Slowly start to roll yourself all the way up to stand. Trying to imagine one vertebra stacking on top of the other. Head comes up last. Feet are still hip distance apart. You're going to take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, making a fist with the hands. Start to draw your fist towards the back of the mat, extending into your arms, lifting up into your chest, so don't dip forward. And then drop your chin down towards your chest. Keeping the arms where they are, start to move the chin all the way along the collarbone, up towards your right shoulder. On an inhale, and then exhale, bringing the chin all the way back through center. Inhaling all the way up towards the left shoulder along the collarbone, and then bringing it all the way back through center. So really trying to keep that chin down, moving from one shoulder to the other, really stretching into the back of the neck. And taking a few more rounds of this with your own breath. Inhaling, moving all the way up to one shoulder. Exhale, moving all the way through center. And then inhale, moving all the way up to the other shoulder. And taking one more round. And once that round is finished, bringing the chin back to center, lifting the chin all the way back up, releasing your hands and just rolling into the shoulders a little bit, loosening up into the shoulders. And then coming to stand at the front of your mat in Tadasana, toes and heels are touching, hands drawing down either side of the hips, lengthening into the spine, the crown of the head is drawing up towards the ceiling, shoulders are dropping away from the ears. On an inhale, take the palms forward and up, look up towards the fingers. Exhale, folding all the way over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, coming into your halfway lift, extending into the spine. Exhale, plant your hands. You can either jump, float, or step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, holding it for 5. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. For 4. And 5. Inhale, look between your hands, bend into the knees. You can either step between the hands or hop between the hands, moving into that halfway lift. And then exhale, folding all the way over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bringing the palms forward and up, look up. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, palms forward and up, look up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. You can jump, step or float back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Inhale, look between the hands, bend deeply into the knees. You can either hop or step between the hands, coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bringing the palms forward and up, looking up towards the fingers. Exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, hook the thumbs, bring the palms forward and back, arch the back. Exhale, reverse the flow, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, making a fist, folding forward, bringing the fist overhead. Inhale, take your hands down to the floor, step your right foot back into a low lunge. Drop your right knee down to the floor, bring your hands to your left knee, sink the hips down low. Find that stretch in the right hip flexor, lift the shoulders up, shoulder blades drawing towards each other, chest is puffing out. Dropping the hips forward, inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Drop your hands either side of your left foot. Lift your right knee up off the floor. Start to extend into the left leg. Lift up into the chest. And exhale, fold all the way over the left leg. It's a wide stance. Your back heel is still lifted off the mat. Finding your breath, inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Gently bend into the left leg. And then make your way all the way to downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward into a plank. Exhale, lower your knees down to the floor, then your chest and chin down to the floor. Inhale, moving forward and up into a baby cobra, so just the chest is lifting. Exhale, tuck your toes, bring your seat all the way to the heels. Push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, bend arms to 90 degrees, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left knee down to the floor. Bring the hands to the heart. So you're lifting up the chest, bringing the hands to the heart. You're going to start to hook the left elbow over the right knee, twisting all the way over to the right. Feel your chest lifting away from that right thigh. You can stay here. If you want more, you're more than welcome to lift the left knee up off the floor, finding that twist. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Bringing both hands either side of your right foot. Bring your left foot to meet your right at the front of the mat, folding over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, hook the thumbs, bring the palms forward and back, start to arch the back, straighten out the legs. Exhale, reverse the flow, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, making a fist, folding over the legs, bringing the fist overhead. And taking the hands down to the floor, stepping your left foot back into a low lunge, drop your left knee down towards the floor. Hands come to the right knee, start to sink the hips down. Bringing the hips forward, really stretching into that left hip flexor now. Shoulder blades drawing towards each other. Find your breath. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 4. And 5. Bring your hands either side of your right foot. Lift your back knee up off the floor. Start to extend into the right leg. Lengthen out into the chest and then exhale, fold all the way over the right leg. Back heel is still lifted, the stance is long. You're folding over the right leg. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Start to bend into the right knee slightly and then move all the way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, moving forward in up baby cobra. Exhale, tuck into the toes, push the seat all the way to the heels. Extend the legs, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, moving forward to a plank. Exhale, bending the arms to 90 degrees, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot between the hands. Drop your right knee down towards the floor, lifting up into the chest. Bring your hands to the heart. Start to twist over to the left, hooking the right elbow over the left knee. Finding that twist, using the hands to push your chest up even further away from the left thigh. If you want more, lifting the right knee up off the mat, holding it there for another 3. And 2. And 1, bringing both hands either side of the left foot, lifting up the back knee if it's not lifted, and then bringing the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat, folding all the way over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, hook the thumbs, bring the palms forward and back, start to arch the back, straighten out the legs, and then exhale, come to stand in Tadasana at the front of the mat. And take your feet hip distance apart, close into the eyes. And take a deep inhale breath. And exhale. Another deep inhale breath. And exhale, slowing everything down. And taking a few more breaths here if you need to. And gently starting to open up the eyes. Bringing the toes and heels to touch back at the front of the mat in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up. Look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, folding over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, step your left foot back into a low lunge. Exhale here. Inhale, bring your arms up either side of your ears, coming into your high lunge. And then start to move your left arm forward, right arm back, coming into your twisted high lunge. Be aware of your shoulders, start moving them back. You want them stacking on top of the hips. You don't want to be leaning too much forward in this twisted lunge. Bend deeply into that right knee, back leg is strong. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 4. And 5. Start to take your left hand down to the floor, to the inside of your right foot. Right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Start to turn all 10 toes out towards the right. Dropping the hips down low, coming into that lounging lizard. Right arm moves down that left leg. On an inhale, lift up into the hips. Right arm moves up towards the ceiling. Exhale, dropping the hips down. Inhale, lifting for 2. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift for 3. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift for 4. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lifting for 5. Moving that right hand back to the front of the mat, to the outside of your right foot, coming back into your low lunge. And bringing your arms up either side of your ears, coming into a high lunge, just for a moment, finding your balance. And start to bring the left knee into the chest, stepping strongly into that right foot. Moving into tree, moving the left knee to the outside, hooking your left foot up onto your right upper thigh, or onto your right calf, or just taking your foot down to the floor next to your right ankle. Finding your balance here, strong right leg. Maybe taking the arms up towards the ceiling. And if you want to, maybe dropping your left hand down towards your left knee, maybe leaning all the way over to the left. Finding that leaning tree. Just playing around, doesn't matter if you fall out, you can always come back in. And slowly making your way back up to center. Arms come above the head first, then back to the heart. And bringing the left knee back into the chest, and then stepping the left foot behind you, but a short step behind. So maybe the halfway to the back of the mat, not all the way to the back of the mat. Start to drop the left heel down towards the floor. Bend into the left knee. Start to extend the right leg. So keep the right leg extended, but flip the right toes up. Take the hands behind the back, interlace the hands, making a fist. Lift up into the chest. And then exhale, start to fold all the way over that extended right leg. It's a very short distance away from each foot. And holding it there, maybe bringing the fist overhead. Change the hands if you need to, maybe taking them down to the floor if you need more balance, or opening up the fist. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 4. And 5. Start to lift up into the chest, moving back onto that right foot, and then bringing the left knee back into the chest, finding your balance. And taking your hands to your hips, start to extend the left leg out in front of you, coming into that half staff and holding it there, lifting the chest up. Don't lean back. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 4. And 5, bending into the left leg, moving the left leg all the way to the back of the mat, coming back into that high lunge. Start to straighten out into the right knee, open the arms, hips and shoulders, keeping that right leg straight, moving into Trikonasana on the right, hinging the body all the way forward, then down, keeping the chest open, holding Trikonasana. Inhale, exhale, 2. And 3, and 4, and 5. From here, take your gaze to the front of your mat, or just in front of your right toes. Start to bend into your right knee. Pushing into the right foot, start to lift your left foot away from the floor, maybe taking your right hand down to the floor just in front of your right foot, or hovering it. Coming into your half moon, so seeing where you feel comfortable, keeping the hips open. If you want to challenge yourself and take it a bit further, maybe grabbing hold of your left foot with your left hand, holding that left foot down towards your left sit bone, keeping the hips open. Inhale, exhale, 3, and 4, and 5. From here, releasing your foot if you had it, and then moving the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, coming back into Warrior 2, finding that Warrior 2 alignment, holding Warrior 2, bending deeply into your right knee, back foot is parallel to the back of the mat, pulling the right knee out towards your right baby toe, inhale, exhale 3, looking gently over your fingertips for 4, shoulders dropping away from the ears, for 5, inhale, lengthen out into the right knee, exhale, rebend the right knee, taking both hands to the inside of your right foot, lifting your back heel up off the floor. So setting up for lizard. We're going to be playing around in lizard here. I'm going to be holding it for about 10 breaths. So I really want you to feel that left hip flexor opening up. So maybe take the left knee down to the floor, keep up on the hands, and kind of just feel yourself moving forward. Maybe take your elbows down to the floor, maybe moving it forward and back on the elbows. You could even keep your left elbow on the floor, bend into the left knee and grab hold of the left foot with your right hand, finding that quad stretch in the lizard. So you've got about 5 more breaths here. Play around at your own pace, just stretching it all out. Doesn't need to be your exact form of lizard. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Inhale and exhale 5. Wherever you are now, you're going to come up onto your hands. You're going to lift your left knee up off the mat and then center your right foot, bringing your hands either side of your right foot. Hop your back foot in a little bit, ground into the left heel, lift up into the chest, extend into the right leg, folding all the way over the right leg, coming into Parsvottanasana and holding it there. Inhale, exhale 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. From here, start to lift up into the chest. Bend gently into the right knee. You're going to need to bend a little bit. You're going to slip your right arm underneath your right leg. You're going to take it all the way out towards the right. From here, you're going to take your left hand and kind of get it to your top left-hand corner. So you also need to get that left hand far out towards the left. You're going to use that left hand for stability, yeah? And then slowly start to bend into the right leg, lifting the left foot up off the floor. So your left knee is going to be bent. You're going to grab hold of your left foot with your right hand. Start to open the left knee up towards the ceiling. Start to straighten out the right leg and look underneath your left armpit. Coming into soldier, holding it here for another 3 and 2 and 1. Gently starting to release yourself all the way back down, releasing your left foot, both hands now either side of your right foot, coming into your low lunge. And then bring your left foot to meet your right at the front of the mat, folding over the legs. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. And exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. Exhale, folding all the way over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, step your right foot back into a low lunge, and then exhale here. On an inhale, bring your arms all the way up next to your ears, coming into your high lunge this time. Your right hand moves forward, left arm moves back, coming into your twisted lunge on the left. Again, moving your shoulders back, bending deeply into that left knee, holding it for another 3. Inhale, Exhale 2. Inhale. And exhale 1. Bringing your right hand down to the floor, to the inside of your left foot, coming into that easy twisting lunge. Left arm lifts up, and then start to move all 10 toes out towards the left. Drop the hips down low, coming into that lounging lizard. Left arm moves back. Inhale, lift the hips all the way up. Left arm moves up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop the hips down. Inhale, lifting up into the hips. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift for 3. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift for 4. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lifting all the way up for 5. And then bringing your left hand back to the front of the mat, either side of your left foot. Coming into that low lunge. On an inhale, bringing the arms up either side of the ears. Coming back into your high lunge just for a moment, finding your balance. And then stepping into your left foot. Bring the right knee into the chest. Start to move the right knee out towards the side. Setting up for tree, hooking the right foot up onto your left upper thigh, or onto your left calf, or down on the floor next to your left ankle. Just finding your balance here. Again, playing around. So maybe bringing the hands to the heart first. And then moving the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. And if you want to, taking your right hand down to your right knee, leaning all the way over to the right, finding that leaning tree. Good. And moving all the way back to center. Arms come up to the ceiling first, and then bringing them to the heart. And with control, bringing the right knee into the chest. And stepping the right foot just about a foot distance away from your left, towards the middle of the mat. So not all the way to the back of the mat. Start to drop your right heel down to the floor. Keep the left leg extended. Just start to flex into the toes. Bend into the right knee. Take your arms behind you. Interlace the hands, making a fist. Lift up into the chest, and then slowly start to fold all the way over that extended left leg with the left toes flexing. Really feeling it into the back of the left leg. Holding it for another 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. And exhale 5. Start to lift up into the chest, releasing the hands. Stepping back into the left foot, bringing the right knee into the chest. Hands to the hips. And then extending the right leg out in front of you, holding the right leg there. Keep the chest lifting up. Don't sink all the way back, or don't lean back. Using that belly to keep that leg lifted. Inhale. Exhale 3. And 2. And 1. Start to step or bring the right knee back into the chest. Step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat, coming into that high lunge. Start to extend into the left leg, ground into the right heel, open the arms, hips and shoulders, setting up for Trikonasana on the left. Reach forward with the left hand, bringing the left hand to the inside of the left shin, keeping the chest lifting and holding Trikonasana for another 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Taking your gaze in front of your left foot. Start to bend into the left knee, lifting the right leg up behind you. Maybe taking your left hand to the floor or hovering it, completely up to you. Keeping the hips open, coming into your half moon. Again, if you want to take it further, maybe taking the band of your right foot with your right hand. So bending into the right knee and then holding that with your right hand. But keep the hips opening up. Find your balance. Strong left leg. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. If you have your right foot, then release the right foot, and then slowly start to step all the way to the back of the mat. Coming into Warrior Two, finding your alignment, your right foot is squared off to the back of the mat, bending deeply into the left knee, arms opening up. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Left knees pulling out towards your left baby toe. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. And exhale, 5. Extend into the left leg. Exhale, rebend the left knee, bringing both hands to the inside of your left foot. Again, setting up for that lizard, so you're lifting your right knee up away, or the right heel up away from the floor, maybe dropping it down to begin with. And then either staying up onto the hands, dropping the hips down low, or maybe coming onto your elbows. So you're here for a few breaths. Play around with what you need. You could take the quad stretch, so you keep on that right forearm. Maybe bend into your right knee and grab hold of your right foot with your left hand. Just really stretching it out here. Now holding it for another 3. And 2. And 1. Wherever you are, you're going to bring your hands either side of your front foot. Lift your back knee up off the floor. Hop the back foot in a little bit. Start to extend into the left leg. Lift up into your chest. And then exhale, fold over the left leg, Parsvottanasana. Holding it here for 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. And 4. And 5. Start to lift up into the chest. Moving into that soldier, so move with me. Bend into the left leg a little bit. And then sweep your left arm underneath your left thigh. Taking your left hand quite far out towards the left. Your right arm comes towards the right top corner, also stretching it out quite a bit. You're going to need that right arm for stability. Start to bend deeper into that left knee and bring the right foot up towards your sit bone, grabbing hold of that right foot with your left hand. Start to open up the right hip. Start to straighten out the left leg and twisting the body to look underneath the right shoulder. Holding it here for another 3. And 2. And 1. Start to release your right foot back down to the floor. Hands come either side of your left foot, coming back into that low lunge. The right foot is at the back of the mat. From here, step the right foot to meet the left at the front of the mat. Fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend knees deeply, palms forward and up, look up, Utkatasana. And exhale, come to stand in Tadasana. Bringing the toes and heels to touch, start to lift the heels away from the floor, coming onto the balls of the feet, finding your balance. Hands come to the heart and just holding it there just for a moment, just to get the strength in the legs. And very slowly now start to bend into the knees, keeping the heels lifted, maybe taking it down for a count of 5, so really moving slowly. Moving all the way down until the sit bones are resting on the heels. Heels are still lifted, knees are pointing forward. Finding your balance and holding it here. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. And exhale, 1. Start to take your arms out in front of you. Slowly start to lower the heels down towards the mat. Knees will obviously start to come more up into the chest. And then slowly start to lower the sit bones down to the mat. You may need your hands to help you here. Lowering the sit bones down to the mat. Start to lift the toes away from the floor, bringing them in line with your knees, coming into Navasana, taking whichever variation you would like to take, either keeping the knees bent or extending into the legs. Keeping the chest lifting up, holding it for another 3. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. And exhale 3. Start to lower your feet back down to the floor, taking the hands behind you on the mat, fingers facing towards the sit bones, feet are hip distance apart. Start to push into the hands and the feet, lifting the hips away from the floor, coming into your bridge pose. If you can see that your knees disappear, then you are more than welcome to slowly lower your head back if it's comfortable on your neck. Otherwise, just looking up towards the ceiling, keeping the hips lifting high, pushing into the backs of the legs. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale, lifting a little higher. And exhale 5. Start to tuck into the chin and slowly lower the sit bones all the way back down to the mat. Extend your left leg out in front of you. Keep the right knee into the chest. Then step the right foot to the outside of the left knee or the left thigh. Move the right hand to the base of the spine. Left arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Twisting over towards the right. Start to hook the left elbow over the right knee, finding that twist. If you want to take it further, you can extend your left arm down or left hand down and maybe grab hold of the outside of your left shin, completely up to you. Otherwise, lifting up with every inhale and twisting a little bit deeper with every exhale. Inhale, extending into the spine. Exhale, twisting. Inhale for 4. And exhale. Inhale for 5. And exhale. Inhale, moving all the way back through center. Exhale, derotating over to the left. And then inhale, moving all the way back through center. You have 2 options here. You can either bring the right foot back to the inside of your left thigh and then drop the right knee out towards the side, squaring up over the left leg and then folding all the way over the left leg. Or you can bring your right toes to the inside of your left hip and then slowly start to move your right hand all the way behind your spine, grabbing hold of your right toes. Lift the left arm up towards the ceiling and then fold all the way over the left leg, maybe grabbing the outside of the left foot with your left hand, folding all the way over. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. And exhale 5. Slowly starting to lift up into the chest. Release your toes if you have them. And from here, you're going to move your foot lower down your left thigh, just above your left knee. Ankle will be dangling over that left knee. Hands move to the base of the spine. Start to bend into the left knee. Take your left foot down towards the floor. So you're kind of coming into a figure 4 with your right ankle dangling just above your left knee. Right knee is pushing away from your body. You should be feeling it in your hip. Use your hands to lift your chest up a little bit higher. And if you want more, start to move your sit bones closer towards your left foot. Keep pushing that right knee out. Keep lifting up into the chest, drawing round into the spine. And holding it here for another 3. And 2. And 1. Slowly start to move your sit bones back if they were forward, extending into the left leg, bringing the right knee back into the chest. You can bring the left knee into the chest And then start to extend the right leg out onto the mat. This time stepping the left foot to the outside of the right knee or the right thigh, and taking the left hand to the base of the spine, right arm lifts up, moving over to the left, hooking the right elbow over the left knee, twisting all the way over to the left. Again, if you want to try and extend your right hand down towards the outside of your right shin, you're more than welcome to, but keeping the length in the spine, with every inhale lengthening out and every exhale twisting a little deeper. Inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, and exhale 5. Inhale, moving all the way back through center, and exhale, derotating all the way over to the right, and inhale, moving back through center. Again, you have your two options. You're either going to take your left foot to the inside of the right thigh, dropping the left knee down onto the floor, squaring up over the right leg and folding over the right leg, or you're going to be bringing the left toes up into your right hip crease, dropping the left knee down, circling the left hand behind you, grabbing hold of your left toes, lifting up the right arm, and then folding all the way over the right leg, maybe grabbing the outside of your right foot and folding all the way over that right leg. Inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, and exhale 5, starting to lift yourself all the way back up, releasing your toes if you have them, and now moving your left ankle further down your right thigh. So left ankle is going to be dangling just above your right knee. Take your hands behind you on the mat for support, bend into the right knee, take your right foot down towards the floor, coming into that figure 4, coming into that hip stretch. Again, moving to where you need to move, left knee is pulling away from the body. If you want to move your sit bones closer towards your right foot, go ahead. Keep the chest lifting up. Keep the left knee pulling away. For another 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale 3. And 2. And 1. Slowly start to move your sit bones further back, extending the right leg back onto the mat in front of you, and bringing the left knee back into the chest. Extend the left leg out as well, so now both legs are extended out in front of you. Start to lift up into the chest, flex into the feet, and fold all the way over the legs, coming into Paschimottanasana, holding it here for a good 10 breaths. So moving around if you need to, maybe starting with the knees bent to begin with, and then slowly start to extend them. Maybe lifting up into the chest and then folding over the legs again, just readjusting each time. You don't need to be stuck in the pose, and finding your breath. Holding it for another 5, inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. And exhale 5. Slowly starting to lift the chest all the way back up. Bending into the knees, crossing over at the ankles, rolling over the feet and knees. Setting up for child's pose. So taking the feet together and tucking the toes, knees apart, resting the chest in between the thighs, forehead coming down towards the mat. Your arms can either be out in front of you on the mat, or you can take your arms behind you, maybe resting your shoulders on your knees. Completely up to you. Taking some deep inhales and exhales here. Finding your breath. With every inhale, feel that belly expanding onto the thighs, and every exhale, Feel the hips sinking a little bit lower, belly moving all the way back into the spine. Just slowing everything down. Some deep inhales and exhales. And from here we're going to set up for an inversion. You have options. So your first option would be dolphin. Elbows would be underneath the shoulders, interlacing the hands out in front of you. You would tuck into the toes, extend the legs, head would be dangling off the floor, and you can hold it here for a few breaths, then come down in child's pose and then hold it. Again, maybe taking 3 rounds of dolphin. Or you can move into your headstand, play around with your headstand, move through the stages of headstand where you would interlace your hands, elbows underneath the shoulders, opening the fist up a little bit with the hands still interlaced, making a cup with the hands. The top of the head comes down to the floor, back of the head would be resting to the inside of the palms of the hands. You're going to maybe extend into the legs and you can hold it there. If it feels good, keep pushing into the forearms using the shoulders and not the head. Or you can maybe bring one knee into the chest and then the other. And maybe holding it in half headstand if you're not ready to go into the full headstand. Or you can bring both knees into the chest and start to extend your legs or feet up towards the ceiling and holding headstand for a few breaths. Completely up to you, and then maybe coming back down and resting in child's pose, maybe going back up again. Or you can set up for forearm stand, taking your forearms out in front of you so hands won't be interlaced. You're kind of making railway tracks. I like to use a block just to keep my arms parallel. You can start to extend into the legs like you would for a down dog. Lift one leg up towards the ceiling and start to bend into your foot that is on the floor, into the leg that is on the floor. Maybe doing a few hops to begin with on the one side, and then maybe a few hops on the other side, or moving straight up into your forearm stand, making sure you're pushing into those forearms, using the shoulders. Head is still lifted up off the floor. And again, holding it there for a few breaths. So I'm giving you some time to play here. You can also take your mat towards the wall and practice your headstand there, or your forearm stand there as well. Just playing around, maybe taking another 10 breaths in whichever option you have chosen for today. Just being mindful of what your body is experiencing. In the headstand, you are very lightly touching the floor with your head. Most of the weight is in the forearms and the shoulders. In the forearm stand, try not to collapse into the shoulders. Make sure you keep pushing away from the floor. The same goes for dolphin. You don't want to be resting your head on the mat at all. You want to keep yourself pushing away from the mat. We're all going to now meet up in child's pose. Again, opening up the knees and resting the chest in between the thighs. Forehead coming down towards the floor, just slowing that breath down. And from child's pose, we're going to roll over onto our backs. Setting up for shoulder stand, another inversion. Again, options here. You can take your feet up against the wall with your sit bones right up against the wall. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and just open the knees up, lying down on the mat. Or you're going to move with me, you're going to bring the knees into the chest and slowly start to take the feet overhead to the mat behind you. If the feet don't touch, you can just bring the knees to the forehead. You want to try and shimmy your shoulders in towards each other as much as you can, forming that base with your upper arms. Bringing the hands to your lower spine, all 10 fingers facing up the spine or towards your sit bones. You don't want to be hooking your thumb around your hips. And start to bend into the knees. And then slowly start to extend the feet all the way up towards the ceiling, keeping the body as straight as you can. You want to be bringing the hips closer towards your nose and the feet moving away from you towards the back of the room, using the forearms to lift yourself up. Again, not pressure on the neck. If you need to pad your mat, pad your mat. You don't want any pressure on the back of the neck. And holding it here for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. And 4. And 5. Slowly start to lower the feet back behind the head, taking the feet down towards the floor or bending into the knees and just taking the knees down towards your forehead. If your feet do touch the mat behind you, you could interlace the hands behind your spine, bringing your fist down towards the floor and pushing the sit bones up towards the ceiling, coming into Halasana, just holding it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Wherever you are, start to take the palms of the hands down to the mat behind you and very slowly start to lower yourself all the way down onto your back, 1 vertebra at a time. And maybe taking your feet to the floor first and then extending the legs down towards the mat. Going to start to set up for fish pose, the counter pose. You're going to turn the palms of the hands up. You're coming onto the forearms with the palms facing up, onto the elbows. Forearms and elbows move low down towards the hips. You're going to push into the forearms, puff out into the chest, and then drop the head all the way down towards the mat, coming into fish pose. Maybe taking a deep inhale here and sighing all the breath out. Another deep inhale and sighing it all out. And 1 more deep inhale, sighing it all out, and start to tuck the chin into the chest, lowering yourself all the way down onto the mat. And bring your knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, maybe rock from side to side. Keeping the knees into the chest, open the arms out onto the mat next to you. And drop the knees all the way over towards the left onto the floor and look over the right shoulder, closing into the eyes here. Just finding that nice twist. And start to bring the knees back into the chest. And this time drop them all the way over to the right, looking over the left shoulder. And again, just keeping the eyes closed. Should feel good. You should feel everything start to release. The spine is neutralizing. And bringing the knees back into the chest. Give yourself 1 last squeeze, scrunching everything up. And then release yourself down onto the mat, opening up the legs, opening up the arms, And setting up for Shavasana, just taking a few moments here, taking as long as you need. Namaste, have a beautiful day.